this will be the final one. Okay. My name is Alan, and I am going to be making a rebuttal to the Humanist Report on a video that he did talking about how Andrew Yang does not support Medicare for all. Spoiler alert, he does. He just doesn't support what Bernie Sanders calls Medicare for all. But let's just tell it how it is. Medicare for all is a term that Bernie Sanders did come up with. So Bernie Sanders definitely has the right to say what Medicare for all means. Therefore, Mike, being a Bernie Sanders supporter, has the right, of course, to say that Andrew Yang does not support Medicare for all. What Yang has described is very much a single-payer system. It's just not the single-payer system that Bernie Sanders supports. So first off, what does Bernie Sanders support? Let's start there. Everything. He supports everything. If you go to the doctor, you pay $0. You do not have to worry about getting a bill. The doctor will not ask you, do you have a credit card? They will not ask for your address so they can send a bill to you. They probably will get an address for you. But they will not use that address to try to collect on you. You do not have to worry about your paycheck being garnished if you do not pay said bill, because you will not be paying said bill. The government will. If you get glasses, I suppose the doctor visit is covered. I don't know about the eyeglasses exactly, how that's going to work. And I think prescriptions are also included, if I am not mistaken. Mike, you can correct me if I'm wrong on that. Forgive me, I haven't delved too deep into Bernie Sanders' plan. I've just kind of scratched the surface on it. But everything I know about it, I like. I like the fact that I could go to the doctor without having to worry about it. I just had over $1,000 bill for my wisdom teeth being taken out. Yes, I am no longer wise. I'm a very unwise man right now. I have no wisdom teeth. So, that would be great. I love that. That's good. Where I kind of falter with Bernie Sanders is I do not think the bill will pass. It will pass if we have a Democratic Senate and a Democratic Congress, potentially. But you got to remember, the people in red states such as Tennessee or Georgia or Kentucky, Texas, those have Democratic-run senators and congressmen. Those people will need to worry about their constituents and whether or not they will support the Medicare for all option, because they could get unelected. And I think that the majority of Americans support a Medicare for all system. So I definitely think that people will end up loving Bernie Sanders' plan, but I think the Republicans will have millions and billions and trillions of dollars spent on, I don't know how much, probably millions. I think they've raised like $157 million. They will do everything they can to smear Bernie Sanders even before he gets elected, before he has a chance to try to get it passed. And that's sad, but it's true. It happened with the American Care Act and the Affordable Care Act, I think it's called, actually. But when the ACA was passed, they had a Democratic Senate, they had a Democratic Congress, they had a Democratic White House, and it still did not get passed the way Obama wanted it to get passed. Medicaid did not get expanded universally like it was supposed to. They didn't get the public option, which was, by the way, public option is where you buy into it. That is a public option where you have to pay into it. Biden supports that. He supports a public option that you buy into. But that is not what Andrew Yang supports. And Mike, that's where you go wrong on your video. You are definitely critiquing Andrew Yang correctly. I had the same critique that he has not gone into this very well. Even on your video, on your interview that I watched, by the way, I loved your interview with Andrew Yang. When I saw Andrew Yang on it, I was like, yes, I want to watch that. And I'm glad that you focused on Medicare for All in that video. But here's the thing. Andrew Yang never mentioned a public option that you buy into. What Andrew Yang mentioned, and you can go back and watch the interview yourself, people, which I should link that, actually. I will link that whole interview, so you can watch the interview, and so you can watch the video I'm rebuttaling with. But anyway, you don't buy into it. He subscribed a Medicare going down gradually so everyone can eventually get it. So right now Medicare is only for 65 and up. I probably go to 55 and up, and then I go to 45, and then I go to 35, and then I go to 25, and then I go for everyone. It will gradually come down. I would imagine kids will get Medicare before I do, but that's, it's a gradual process, and that way we don't overload the system. As things goes, wrong, we can invest and improve things, get better care. It can be very, very also unpopular and scary for the people who have Medicare now. They're not gonna, people of that age, they don't like you messing with their Medicare, and they don't like you messing with their Social Security. Don't mess with that. I want it, and I don't want to lose it. Don't touch it, you evil politicians, you. But I think in the end it would be better. I think it will cover more. From what Andrew Yang says, we will have copays, so it's not a Medicare for all in the sense that everything is 100% paid for. It's a Medicare for all in the sense that everyone can get it, everyone is paying for it somehow, some way through taxes, and no. Just because you choose to have private insurance doesn't mean you don't pay your Medicare tax. Like right now, I pay Medicare tax. It comes out of my paycheck. That is going to increase in some way or some form, which is another thing Andrew Yang should go into. Exactly how much should we expect that to go up? So we can kind of have an idea of how much is going to come out of our paycheck for this. But he has time. I mean, it's not even January, so he has time to come out with this plan in more depth, and hopefully he will. So that, Mike, is where you're wrong. He never mentioned in the video that you pay for it. It is not a public option. And I'm focusing on that because if you're focused on the Medicare for All being a Bernie Sanders plan and only being what he subscribes to, all health insurance companies being banned and everyone goes on a Medicare system, then let's say it as it is with the public option. The public option is not an option that is Medicare. You can opt into it if you want to. Public option is a option that you can buy into. That's the public option that Obama supported. That's the public option that Biden supports. And that is not the public option that Andrew Yang supports. Andrew Yang supports the option of just opting into Medicare if you want. And I think over time, as your friends and family choose this option, over time, as employers start to realize I'm paying money that I don't need to pay, they will talk to their employees and they will say, hey, employee 1 and 2 and 3 and so on, I no longer will pay for your health insurance. You have this free option. It's actually pretty cool. I have it myself. It's called Medicare for All. We're going to call it Yang Care because that's what they're going to do, I'm sure. And Yang Care is 10 times, 1,000 times better than what Obamacare was. And guess what? I'm gonna give you a 50-cent raise. It doesn't sound much, but hey, every raise is awesome. And if it's on top of whatever your normal raise is for that year, you might even come out ahead. And obviously, some employers might be more than 50 cents. The point is, they will no longer have that expense. They can either pocket it, or more than likely, they're going to throw you a penny or two to make you happy that they're not going to pay for your health insurance anymore. And it's not like they covered it 100% anyway. You still paid something out of pocket for it. But the whole point of a Medicare for All is being a single payer system, kind of like Canada, which also has private insurance, by the way, Mr. Mike. You have that system in place where everyone has this base coverage, and then you can go out and buy better coverage if you want. Your employer can choose to give you better coverage if they want to, which might even end up being cheaper, because if the insurance only pays your copays, and your copays are max $100, that's not that expensive. It's pretty cheap. So I'd imagine employers will also use that to make you want to work for them and entice people to come work for them. So, in closing, Mike, you did a great job. I fully support you. Everyone, watch the interview with Andrew Yang. It's in the description. Watch the video that I'm talking about. It is called Andrew Yang reaffirms that he does not support Medicare for All, which is not true. He does support Medicare for All. He just doesn't support what Bernie Sanders calls Medicare for All, which, since he invented the term, he has the right to say what Medicare for All means. And the messaging might be a little bit convoluted, and Andrew Yang definitely needs to make it clearer, maybe even come up with his own name. Yang Care, by the way, Mr. Andrew Yang, if you want to take that, just go ahead and do Yang Care. Call it Yang Care. You know, that's what they're going to call it. Public is going to try to smear you and say, oh, it's Yang Care. It's socialism at its worst. It's not. Stop it, people. But anyway, that is my rebuttal. Keep doing a good job, Mike. I look forward to more videos. Hopefully more videos about Andrew Yang. If you would like me to be on board, I'll be happy to talk to you. We are going to have a Yang 101 on Medicare for All. It is our next edition, so look out for that. I will not be in it. My beautiful face won't be the star of that one. We will have probably Aaron and maybe someone else in the Knoxville Yang gang who's interested in coming and talking to you guys. So we will have that up and ready. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Please watch the Humanist Report. Maybe even subscribe. Oh, and also, America, think harder. It's very important. Think harder like your life depends on it. Because it does.